Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of our cottage laundry room makeover series. If you missed last week's video, the whole premise of that video was to see what I could get accomplished in this space without spending anything extra in material or supplies. So luckily I had leftover paint from the kitchen project, I had leftover beadboard material from the pantry, and I had a little bit of leftover wood and trim from when I did the kitchen window project. So I was able to put all of those supplies to use in here. I got the doors painted, the trim painted, I got the beadboard wallpaper hung and painted. The only thing extra I ended up having to buy was a $1.99 bag of pegs from Hobby Lobby. And then I spent $6 on 2 rolls of stencil material at Michael's. They were $3 a piece on clearance. So I scooped those up. And I just created a block print using my Silhouette Cameo software. I found a block print image on Google and then was able to transfer it into the software and then cut it out. And so over the process of, I would say, about 3 or 4 days, I got this whole wall, that's where the window is, done, and then I got this portion that you can see behind me done. So this week, to finish off the room, I want to trim out the window. I ordered more beadboard wallpaper so that I can do the same thing on this other wall where the window is, halfway up. So you'll have the block print on top and the beadboard on the bottom, and then I'm going to do another small stretch of peg rail. So I'm going to have to go buy another bag of the pegs from Hobby Lobby. And then the other thing that I did was I ordered another roll of this stone wallpaper that you can see behind me. I used that wallpaper in our dining room inside of the antique mantle that we have in there to give it more of a kind of built-in look, like there was stone covering where the firebox would have been. I have got a ton of thrift finds that I have been collecting over the last several weeks, ever since I knew I was finally going to tackle this project and get it done. And I can't wait to share them with you guys. We're gonna do a couple of small crafty things to a couple of them, but I think they are gonna be perfect for this cottage laundry room that I'm putting together in here. So while I wait for the Amazon package to arrive, I'm gonna go ahead and take down the shelf and the sign that are up on that tongue and groove wall right now. None of that stuff is gonna come back into the space, at least not in its current form, which you'll have to stay tuned for that. So while we wait for that, let's go ahead and get all that stuff taken down.
Don't let the clips that are to follow fool you. I am quite terrible at hanging peel and stick wallpaper. I actually really dislike the stuff. If I had left all of the footage in, this video would have been the length of a feature film and the rating would not have been one for children. But I digress. I fell in love with the idea of doing a rock wall in this room quite a few weeks ago. However, we are not at a point where we are ready to tackle a project like that. I most definitely want to put in the stone backsplash in the kitchen first. So in the meantime, I think that this wallpaper is a really great temporary alternative. I do truly love the way that it looks. I will link both this wallpaper and the beadboard wallpaper that I use in this video in the show notes, if you are at all interested. I'm going to go ahead and speed a good portion of this footage up, because I'm sure that watching me hang peel and stick wallpaper is probably just as stressful on you as me actually hanging it. So my sincere apologies. But I promise the end result is completely worth it. My feelings towards this pre-pasted beadboard wallpaper are far more positive than that of the peel and stick variety. I have been quite impressed with the realistic look of it, especially once painted. I first used this in our pantry a few months ago and it has been holding up quite well in there, so I definitely feel good about using it in here. The only thing that gets tricky is that once you soak it in the water to activate the paste, it does become pretty fragile. Thankfully, the couple of places that did get torn were covered up by the wood railing, so thank goodness for that. Of all the DIY skills that I do on a fairly regular basis, painting is my favorite. Whether it is painting a wall, a piece of furniture, although I don't really do that much anymore, or painting on canvas, I find the simple act of dipping a brush into paint to be peaceful and stress reducing. I even love the task of cutting in with an angled brush, and I rarely ever tape anything off. Maybe that's why I'm always changing things up in our home. I just need to paint something. However, I truly don't see this color going anywhere anytime soon. Adding window trim is one of my all-time favorite ways to add charm to a space. Believe it or not, all of the wood used for the window and the rail that the pegs will be put in were all cut from the large shelf that I took down at the beginning of the video. I was able to strip down that board into all the pieces that I needed using our table saw. This was just another way that I was able to keep costs down on this project.
Okay guys, so as promised, I have a thrift store haul to share with you guys that is specifically for this laundry room project. I have been collecting these items for probably the past 2 or 3 weeks, and I think they all are going to really help drive home that European cottage feel that I'm going for in the space. So my luck with baskets continues. I don't know what's happening. I found this sweet little one right here. I'm thinking about doing a small shelf above the fuse box and doing like a basket display on it. I have a shelf that I took down from the kitchen. I had it above the range before I did the vent hood mantle. And I'm thinking I might be able to repurpose that into the laundry room. And this would be just the right size to fit on that. So that's what I'm thinking for this. And then I also found this one at Goodwill. This one I want to say was $2.99. This one was $2.99, and I love the little handle. I'm thinking that this will fit on that shelf as well. My favorite baskets that I found though are these 2 flat-backed baskets from Goodwill. They were $3.99 a piece. I have been looking everywhere for some of these. They are so hard to find, and when I do find them, they cost a small fortune. We have a overflowing basket on the counter in our laundry room full of socks. My kids' socks are constantly disappearing. I don't know if it's just us. Is it an epidemic? Y'all tell me. But I thought this would be a much cuter way to get them off of the counter. I can at least put some of them in one of these baskets and then hang it up on, I'm thinking, the door to the water heater. So we can put their little mismatched socks in there. The other ones always end up turning up, so I never want to just throw them out. So I hang on to them until the other ones find their way back home. So I think these are going to be so sweet. And maybe this one could go on the peg rail. I don't know. Maybe some flowers inside. We'll see. This next item is one of my favorites. Look at this sweet swan planter. It was $5.99. I did, however, have a little accident with it in the car on the way home. Her neck broke off, so I glued it back on with Gorilla Glue. There's still a little bit, you can see the cracking, but I guess that just adds to the cozy nature of the room. It just adds a little extra character to her. But I'm thinking maybe fill her with some hydrangeas. I think that would be really pretty. Next, on that same Goodwill trip, I found this sweet little milk glass dish. It was $1.99. I thought it would be really cute to put maybe like clothespins or safety pins, something like that, like something that you would use in the laundry room, but display it in a really pretty way, kind of elevate it. So I loved the detail on it. I love the shape. I thought it was so pretty, and for $1.99, I thought that was a steal. And then I found this really sweet plate at Goodwill as well. It says Le Mont Saint Michael, and it had an inscription on the back, and I took a photo of it and I will insert it here at the bottom. But I do believe that this was purchased in France during a school trip that somebody took. And I just thought it was so pretty. I love all the weaved detail around the edges. And with the blue colors, that whole cool color palette, I think it will be really, really pretty in the laundry room. And then I just put one of these discs on the back. I really, really like using these now. I love these a lot because you can remove this later on if you want to without damaging the plate, which I love. Next up, we have this cute little framed picture. It has a little teacup in the center of it. It was $1.99. So I was thinking about doing maybe just like a really simple like sketch of a clothespin or something laundry related, but like a really simple sketch just on cardstock and putting it in there. So we'll see. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to use it in the laundry room. The next thing that I found was at this thrift store that it's a charity thrift store that goes to help people who are on hospice, which is a cause very near and dear to my heart because before I lost my mom, she was in hospice. But I loved this. This is like a mail sorter, I think. And I thought maybe I could use it to store dryer sheets, something like that. But I just love the kind of more primitive look to it. It was $7.50. So the things that were in this store were a little bit pricier. I feel like that maybe they would have been at Goodwill, but because of the kind of shop that it was, I don't feel like any of the prices were just excessive. So last but certainly not least, I found this beautiful lamp. I am obsessed with it. I love it. So where I want to put it in the laundry room, the power is on the other side. So what I'm thinking I may try to do is see if I can get one of those battery operated light bulbs that we can just recharge, and putting that in there. The bottom is pretty shallow, like it's pretty open down here, and I can coil the cord around it because I don't want to cut the cord off in case I move it to another spot. But I can hide the cord and it still sit flat. So I think I may try to do that. And then also it did come with the lampshade. But I think what I want to do on the lampshade is I've always wanted to try one of those pleated shades. And I've got some scrap fabric that I think would be really pretty and would go in the laundry room. So I may try to cover the lampshade with the fabric and try a DIY project on that. But I thought this was the most beautiful lamp. I've never seen anything like it. And when I went to Google Lens it, I found a couple of variations of it that were very similar. But I love that it kind of has like this little dish area down here. I love that so much. Oh, and this one was $13.99. So let's head back to the laundry room and start decorating.
Thank you all so much for watching this week's video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Wall-to-wall fall content starts next week, and in 2 weeks we will be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet and you feel led to, I would absolutely love to have you join this community. I love chatting with y'all in the comments too, so please feel free to leave me a comment and let me know what you think about the laundry room. For the first time in my life, I think I may actually want to do the laundry. So until next week, y'all. Bye now.